Welcome to Masters at Wagtail. Today I want to talk about scrapers. Now I don't have every single scraper out on the market, so I can't speak for those. I can only speak for the ones that I have tried. Now here we have a Triumph scraper. There's pros and cons to each and every one of these scrapers, right? All right, so let's talk about the first one up here to the left. This is made by Unger. You can get this at Home Depot. It is about a 4-inch blade, and this is very good for detail work. I wouldn't say heavy duty, and the cons of this scraper is obviously you can't put it on a pole, but this is great. I tell you why, because hey, squirrel. So this is great because you can put this in your pocket and you know you always have it. That's good because if you have one on a pole, you don't have to keep taking it off the pole. You just use it on the pole to the stuff you need to scrape that you can't reach, and then this one you keep for hand because this works better than all of them. And I'll tell you why. This, if you scrape something, it's taking the water off like it's a squeegeed rubber on here. All right. The next I want to talk about this. This is a scraper too, but it's a plastic one. The blade fell out. I have replacements, but this is a must for anything that you don't want to scrape or scratch, like tent, things of that nature. That's more of a tent scraper or a plexiglass scraper. For getting tape off, you could pick at it and then you could just start it and then pull the rest off. Now, this is very good as well as this, and it's a Triumph blade. It's a thin blade. It's dual-sided. This is dual-sided as well. So the blade that's in here, you see it's all rusted, but as long as you wipe the blade after every use and shake the water out, you'll be fine and it won't get all nasty. Now this is the least of the scrapers that I don't like. Here's the reason why. When this gets wet, even if you shake it, that blade gets so nasty in there, it literally builds up gunk and you cannot get this out. All right? I literally had to get a screwdriver and force that out. Now, because there's no blade in there, it can come out easy. But when you put the blade in there, it's tight. All right? So let me just show you why. Now, you see that? This is all brown and rusted because that corroded in there to the point, you see, I got plastic pieces falling off from when I kept jamming it in there because it slides in. And I had to jam the screwdriver in there, and it took me forever to get that out of there. Because what I was scraping, it had stuff. Let me just show you what I mean. You see how thin that is? All right. So if you're scraping vinyl or decals, which I never advise with this scraper, only for the simple fact that vinyl will get lodged in there and you'll be picking pieces out of there because that's going to inhibit you from scraping the window properly. Now, when you scrape, the blade is very well made because you can get a good scrape, including the water, like if you use the squeegee. All right. But the downfall is the blade is thin for one thing, and it breaks and chips easy. Same thing with this, but this more so than that. And you will get stuff. So Really, I think this is more or less for a detail squeegee, not necessarily for decals or vinyl. Now, tape, yes, fantastic. Silicone, fantastic. Um, when you're talking about heavy duty, no. This is not a heavy duty scraper, so you shouldn't treat it as such. Even though you may not have nothing else, just keep in mind, if you use this, I know there's other Triumph scrapers, I haven't used them all, but using this was enough for me not to want to use it ever again. I can't say that I won't never use it because I've always will need a backup. I just don't have blades for it because I ran through the blades rather quickly with this. Now next, I thought this was going to be great. And I like some Unger products. Some. I didn't say all Unger products. Some. I really do not like their Squeegees. The only squeegee I like, and that's actually the handle, was the 0 Degree. That's my favorite handle, along with the Ettore Pro Contour handle. Those are my two favorite handles other than the Wagtail. So this blade, let me just take this off. This blade is also double-sided. And it's just like the Triumph. And if you scrape decals, you could get stuff lodged in between there. So I haven't used this in a while, but let's just pull this out. All right, so the blade is still good. Like I said, if you shake it out and wipe the blade, it shouldn't get all nasty. You see, it still looks virtually brand new. Mainly also because I haven't used it long. This is dual-sided, but the blade sucks really bad. I mean, really bad. As you can see, it chipped. But that's not why it sucks really bad. It sucks really bad is because as thin it is, you think the blade would get the water and the debris off the glass. I have to keep flipping it on both sides to find out which is the right side to scrape evenly. And what I mean by evenly, a scrape where it's not missing part of the debris, because you shouldn't have to keep flipping the scraper around to find out what side is going to get a good clean scrape of debris off the glass. This I had to, and it seems to me that always on one side it tends to work a little better, but it still leaves water behind like it's a bad rubber, a bald rubber. And I don't like blades like that. I like blades that when you scrape it, it looks like you squeegee the glass and it's completely dry. Now that's what I call a good scraper and a good blade. So is this worth the money? No, it isn't. If you don't have anything else to use and you don't want to get on ladders, then yes, you can find that at Home Depot. This is much better than that. As crazy as it may sound, even though this doesn't fit on a pole, this is much better. Now this, I'd have to say, was one of my favorites, but this blade really is poor. This is an Unger as well, but this particular blade is the best scraper you will ever get when it comes to heavy duty scraping. It tackles the toughest of vinyl jobs. And you see, the way the lip is, you don't have to worry about vinyl getting caught in here so much, because why? It has screwdrivers that you can tighten up so that it doesn't get in that crease. Because the tighter it is, the less this blade is going to move around and slide on you. There is no screwdrivers in this. So yes, debris, tape, decals, and whatnot could get lodged in there, as well as this and as well as this. But these are great detail squeegees. Except for this. Because if you're trying to get silicone off, you'll be scraping a million times just to get it off because it doesn't get a clean scrape of the debris. Neither does this. The least amount compared to those. This is the worst when it comes to getting silicone and getting a clean scrape of debris off the glass. But this supersedes any of these when it comes to vinyl decaling and really hacking at something. This blade is so tough and so thick, you would really have to be careless and really a baby Huey, someone who doesn't know their own strength, to really chip this, or if you drop it the wrong way. This is a real thick, heavy-duty blade, so which means it's not going to be good for that real fine debris on the glass. Now this is from WCR, as you can see. So this is a totally different scraper, and I think I finally found the one that I'm going to like the most, and I haven't even tried it yet. Only for the simple fact is I've seen a few other people review this scraper. Louis is one of them. So let's take this out and see what it looks like. Let me grab one of these scrapers. This is my favorite scraper. Cutting open boxes and a whole bunch of things. It's nasty, man. This scraper is the best handheld scraper I've ever used. But before we continue with that, I just wanted to say this is not double-sided. I'll tell you another reason why this scraper is the best heavy-duty scraper I've used is because the other side of this, if you lose your top, your cap, your cover, like I've done, but I didn't flip the blade because this stays in the bucket that I don't use. There's another side, and there's a dull side. You can actually flip that, and it's dull. It's just a regular scraper. But that's good for getting gum off the floor and knocking big chunks of cement off the glass. The problem with doing it like that is these screwdrivers. It takes time to unscrew and flip it back on the side. So either you have two, or what you do is, a suggestion from me, is you go and knock out all the cement on all the glass with the dull side, and then you can flip it back around on the sharp side and then fine tune the glass. But like I said, this is a heavy duty. This is not the greatest for prepping the window for it to be squeegee. This is. No, this isn't. This is, and this one. I'm about to show you. All right, so, whoa, I can feel the quality in this already. Holy smokes. This is a monster of a scraper. This is a 6-inch Sorbo. And this attractive case that has, let me just take this out so y'all can see. Look at that. There's no other scraper that looks as cool as this. Sexy. This almost looks like a hatchet. You know? I feel like chopping some window ledges. Bop, bop. Nah. I do not want to mess this up. But I wonder if I'm going to have trouble, because I've seen the design of this, and I'm wondering if I'm going to have trouble with decals getting in the thing. I guess no scraper is going to eliminate that, except for this one, for the most part. It will get stuck in there, but not as bad. Okay, so when you order this, oh, by the way, I want to thank WCR for sending such a fantastic scraper from the looks of it. I will put this out in the field as soon as I get something to scrape. So we have, I've never seen a scraper that gave you a whole page of a whole page of how to work this thing, but I guess it's necessary to read. so you can maintain the longevity. Plus, I like how it swivels. That's another thing too. And you can have that angle. I don't know any other scraper that does this like this, but this is an angled scraper if you want it to be. And you could, man, shoot, man, I gotta tell you, man, that was a good idea getting that. I had a choice to get that or a Ninja, but I'm done with Unger scrapers for now. That handheld one is just about the only thing I wanna hear from when it comes to Unger. All right. So why they switched to blue instead of green, it behooves me. But even the mop covers, they're blue handles. But hey, sometimes change is good, right? All right, so I'm not going to read this whole thing, but y'all can just briefly read it. I'll pause the video and give y'all time to read this. You know, I knew I liked this scraper already. I just wanted to point out something. All right, so let's read together. You ready? The Sorbo 6-inch adjustable scraper adapts to surface irregularities, so it scrapes thoroughly every time. Now that sounds great to me. The design prevents paint chips from getting in between the razor and the holder, which limits its effectiveness. Remember what I was telling you about this? This in particularly, and which is that other one? Yes, and this. I think I won't have a problem with that. All right. So the offset, I just answered my own question when I asked Louis to comment. The channel is offset to one side to make it easier to pull the razor blade carriage out. This feature also allows the blade carriage to be extended to one side. Now that I'm not too sure what they mean by that. I guess I would have to use it to know. It spares knuckles when scraping close to the wall and other obstructions. Now that I like. And it's great with Sorbo extension poles. A little Sorbo glide in the water makes any scraping job easier. I have to try some of that stuff out. It keeps the window well lubricated. I got some stuff that'll keep it lubricated, all right. And that's what she said. So lift the scraper off the glass, and that much we do know if you ever used a scraper. So the 6-inch double-edged razor blades come in quantities of 10. They are made of the highest quality steel for superior sharpness and long life, and I'm okay with that. So yeah, irregularities. Boy, that's a tongue twister for me. But yeah, I like that, man. I like the sound of that. It scrapes thoroughly every time. That means you'll get a nice even scrape of the debris off the, or like they say, irregularities. Just like chrysanthemum. Oh, but yeah. All right, there you have it. All right, you know what I noticed when I paused it for y'all to read that paper? Right off the back, look at this. You can easily pull this out. Well, I'm using one hand, but look. I don't know if that's going to be a problem. Louis, when you see this video, you can comment and let me know if this keeps moving on you. I imagine if you're scraping decals on an angle, this blade will catch and slide. I'm thinking. I don't know if there's a way to lock that, but I'll tell you, even though it slides on you, it's good because if you get stuff lodged in behind there, you could easily pull this out and free it up and then put it back in. But I could tell this is a good quality blade. I just wish that I had reminded WCR to slide some extra blades in here. Whether or not they did, yeah, that's okay. I can always place another order and okay. Me in boxes and leaving leaving stuff behind. All right, so when this blade dulls out, I'll order some more. But let's see if this is double-sided. All right, the blade is double-sided, and guess what else, ladies and gentlemen? This is the most user-friendly, easiest blade to change. Because look, this is like a door hinge. Look at that. It's like a door hinge. It's literally no locks. This will really be interesting to see if this is going to slide out of the channel on me. Not only is the blade super quick and super easy to change, that's great. That's a plus in my book. So I'm giving you all these details and I haven't even used the scraper yet. Just from a glance. All right. So, oh, you know what? Now it's tight. It won't easily come out. I wonder if that's the right side to put it on. I'm thinking. Louis, comment below, because now, look, it's tough now. That's interesting. I would have to read that. You know, it's amazing how I have to read for a scraper. I've never done that before, so this is kind of new to me. But all right, this is Masters at Wagtail. I'm not going to keep y'all. This video is already long enough. And you know what? This is also interesting. Only me will probably notice something like this. This is actually welded on there. Now, I'm not going to go as far as saying that that weld would break because I don't know. But it's not centered, if you notice that. Look, call me anal, but if something is not centered right, it bothers me. Just like it bothers some people. Just like with all the clamps and carbon fiber poles, if they're not all lined up, sometimes that bothers certain people. But I'm sure it doesn't matter. But I'm sure the blade works just fine. All right, so stay tuned for a review with this. And I'll see y'all in the next one. Thanks again, WCR, for sending some more great products. And I'll see y'all in the next one. Bam!